Welcome to Millenia, boys and girls. Be ye man, woman, child, spirit, creature, demon, be ye a native migrator or even innovator into the lands. I welcome you, for I am your host, the Millennium Mailman, here today, and I'll be world building for you long after you've already begun to acclimate and fit in. So go ahead, sit back, relax, and enjoy this Tourism Tuesday as I bring this intel to you. But yes, so today we're going over the power, skills, abilities, and more sections. And in this one, this is going to be more of a preface into this section and just expressing those things before I ever get into expounding on what power, skills, and abilities I have on paper for the universe. This is going to be me explaining what the baseline is and what differentiates them. Further ado, first things first, this is a fantasy-esque novel with systems and more, so there are level ups and proficiencies and experience and soap mana, magic, and so on and so forth, right? But to address the first thing about the systems and the leveling up process and abilities here in this realm of Millenia universe and world, that works off of spiritual essence. That's what I call spiritual essence, life essence, XP, experience, spiritual, so on and so forth, right? That is that extra thing going on here that gets interlaced here, kind of like DNA, where every creature, every species, every sentient being has some DNA of some sort, right? That's what interconnects everything in the real world. And in my realm of Millenia, universe, world, whatever you coil you want to define and label it as, there's DNA as one staple thing, and then there's also the system that you have and the way you level up with your system. But something that's generally common amongst all of them is the spiritual essence, and whether or not you can really tap into the spiritual essence in order to develop and level up your system and the things that are part of your system. So spiritual essence is basically the XP bar, that experience bar that everyone has and can utilize and access in order to level up, do this, that, and the third, right? Now, to address the difference between powers, skills, and abilities, right? First things first, no matter what race, creature, or anything, it's considered a skill if you naturally could possibly do it or figure out how to and get to it all on your own, right? I can dance, I can make film, I can produce, I can do very well in mathematics. I am not a very good dancer, but I could develop the highest level of dance proficiency all on my own. So it would be considered a skill that I have or could develop all on my own, and then thus, to me, as the type of human I am, it is very possible for me to do that. It is a skill. Say for someone with 2 perpetual left feet, or someone who's tone deaf or completely blind, it would be an ability. Abilities are things that you cannot quite naturally do on your own, or would generally be able to do or discover or be able to have done on your own, right? So for the tone deaf person, for the blind person, for someone with literally 2 left feet, or something of the sort and third, to be able, right? People with those, something like square dancing or line dancing, dancing in tune and rhythm, that would be an ability they might need, because they don't have an ability to have that skill. They don't have what it takes to have that skill, so for them it would be considered an ability. So throughout the novel, I hope that better helps you with the understanding of why is this considered an ability here and why is that a skill there. Are they interchangeable terms? No, not really. What sets them apart and makes them different is skills is something that person very much could do by themselves on their own. And the abilities, if it's in the ability section, is things, oh, hell no, they definitely are very much incapable of doing. Give them 100,000 years to figure it out, they would not. They could not ever, right? So you could get a whole bunch of skills and they would fall in the skill section. You can develop skills and then level up those skills with the assistance of your system. Skills are something you could do, act on, and then be able to increase with proficiency or the usage of your experience, spiritual essence, skill points in order to develop them faster than, say, you normally would. Abilities, you would never have gotten anywhere near anything, no matter how much time we gave you. You personally could not ever possibly figure it out. That's like someone from the DC universe trying to understand particular concepts from the Marvel universe of comics and stuff. Like, I'm not sure I can have a better reference. That's like saying one of the people from the Walking Dead series trying to understand life from the vampire perspective in Vampire Diaries, or what's another vampire movie? Underworld? Or I'm really trying to think here. In the Blade universe. What was Twilight, that's what it was. That's like trying to make someone from The Walking Dead try to understand the systems they got in place and all the lifestyle choices being done in Twilight, and someone from Twilight being dropped in the center of The Walking Dead trying to navigate and be like, right? Skills here are normal to me because I can do them. They would be considered abilities to other people because they don't even know where or how to get started. And vice versa. What they would consider skills are abilities to me because I could not possibly ever, and they simultaneously could never possibly ever really hope. They may or may not be able to, so there is some skill crossovers where there are some things they consider skills and I would consider skills too, right? And there are also some things that I would consider abilities that they're like, they would agree with me, oh yeah, that's an ability, right? And then there's powers. Powers are things that may vice versa be true to skills and abilities and acceptable to any and everyone. But powers can be connected to your bloodline, blood factor, DNA factors, whatever you want to call it, your genetics, where shape-shifting, that's like an intrinsic thing. That's not necessarily a skill because it's not something you get to really learn. It's just something you're either able and capable of doing or you're not, right? Like vampires, they will have the power to, I don't know, what is it? That's not say vampires, werewolves, right? Where they have particular skills for smelling and being strong and dexterous and capable, and then they have the power to shapeshift, where that's not necessarily something that you would be able to say is like a skill of theirs, but it's not necessarily an ability because everyone knows werewolves can shapeshift. It's more of a particular power that's attributed to them and their race specifically. They're not the only one with this thing. They're not the only one capable of it. But at the same time, it's not necessarily something you learn. It's something that just naturally happens that is like a power. The same way Superman characters have the same power to shoot lasers out of your eyes. It's not necessarily something you get to just learn or figure out. It's just something that your body can do that you just have to figure out how to control. More so than figure out how to learn and implement it, it's more you being able to control it. Like X-ray vision, people with X-ray vision or Superman characters with X-ray vision have to figure out it's just doing that all on its own. I don't like seeing people's skeletons. I don't like actually seeing people's muscle layers instead of their skin layers. That's awkward. It's uncomfortable. Stop, please. Right? So that's one of the things I find hardest to explain and express, the powers aspect. But I'm sure with more involvement and you hear more powers that it kind of makes more sense to you, right? So say something that's kind of generic that happens in a lot of, if not all the renditions of humanity and certain genres of novels and stuff. Humans have that particular capability, that power to think creatively in order to interact and adapt the world to them, right? Where humans are one of the, across many novel renditions and narratives, are some of the least adaptable creatures and species in all of existence, because there's very little you can do to actually change a human and their mindset. So what humans tend to do, like proper apex predators, is change the world and the environments around them. It's like, oh no, we're dying a lot, we're dying fast, change everything around us so we die less or die slower, right? So it's a particular power, if you will, of many human narrative renditions to affect the world around them and to think in ways that allow them to make decisions to change the world around them more so than other species and creatures would have considered changing the world around them. Excusez-moi. So, yes, but I digress, and I'm probably not making it somehow more complicated than it needs to be, but skills are stuff you can naturally do on your own and learn and develop. Abilities are things you most certainly can't, and powers are more so unique aspects tied to a lot more genetics, and there's more to be said about innate and skills and talents and stuff, but hey, let's leave it at that and make a whole different video for that. But yes, powers, skills, and abilities, those are the differences. Hope that makes it easier to comprehend so you can better enjoy the novel the next time you read it through, and so on and so forth. But hey, that's just me, your Millenia Mailman. That's the news and intel I had to share with you today. Go ahead and enjoy. Put down in that comment section down below any questions, comments, concerns you have about this topic. Like the video if you feel like liking the video. Share the video if you think it deserves a bit more exposure. And of course, subscribe if you feel like it. No pressure. Peace.